Hello traders, Michael here at FX Link. Thank you for joining us on our market preview videos. It's Sunday morning. Happy Sunday to you all. In today's video, we are going to look at a potential long opportunity on the Euro-Aussie pair, only using price action and structure to filter out where we want to get into the market. So I hope you enjoy this video. Without wasting much time, let's head to the charts. Hey gang, thank you for joining me on the charts. Normally I would go to the higher time frame and start up my analysis on the daily time frame, my top-down analysis, right? But Euro-Aussie stuck out to me on the 4-hour time frame, and I thought, why not give you a top-down analysis from the 4-hour to the 1 hour and the 15 minutes time frame, right? Now, looking at our higher time frame, you would see that as buyers began to come at this level, they began to top out at these levels of structure and gave us our higher high over here, and we had our higher low right here. And ever since we had our higher low and our higher high, we began to consolidate between 57 75s, right? Let me put a line on it. There we go. 57.69 and between 56.63, 56.30s levels between there. So we have about a 140, I think a 140 pip range in this market. Okay, so as price began to come to these support levels right here, price began to react by what? By going up. And as price began to come to these resistance levels, price began to react by going down. Now, in this case, as I have seen a pattern of exhaustion in the market, taking a closer look, you would see that as price began to resist over here, we had our exhaustion candle right here, our doji candle, right? Actually, two candles right here if you pay a closer look, right? And as price began to come to our support levels, we began to have a similar pattern of candles right here, another doji candle, another exhaustion candle, signaling a push up in the near future, right? And right here currently in the market, we have another exhaustion candle, signaling that we are holding over to those levels of structure, right? And mainly on my higher time frames, while I do a top-down analysis, I want to see three things happening in the market. If I don't see those things, then I never get myself engaged in the market. I want to see whether price is holding at our significant support or resistance levels, or I want to see a breakout or a continuation, either up or down, in order for me to have a potential buying or selling opportunity. In this case, you would see that price, ever since it has hit our resistance levels right here, has been playing between these two zones, right? And as we have an exhaustion candle, when I go to my lower time frame, right, you would notice that these consolidation patterns have been quite clear, and our support and resistance levels become quite clear over right here. Okay, so as price came to these levels of structure, let me narrow this down, make it look okay. As price came to these levels of structure, you would see we have a potential double bottom pattern forming over right here, and we have a potential bullish divergence from our RSI indicator. Okay, so since price came to these levels of structure, we became oversold on our RSI, and then price retraced. Now we are looking to make a second retest at our lows, right? So from these levels of support, as price does come to these levels of structure, it can come between 56.61s and 56.34s. Between these low levels of structure, you have a valid buying opportunity to be engaged in the market between these two levels. Okay, so as we go to the lower time frames, which is in this case our 50-minute time frame, I would look to have a precise entry level where I'll be looking to enter, whether aggressively or conservatively. In this case, I would look to take a set of tools in my arsenal to pinpoint an exact level where I want to enter at. Either it's a zone or a level where I would want to get an aggressive entry, right? So on my set of tools, I have an ABCD pattern. Let's see if we have an ABCD right here, and you would see we get an ABCD right at these levels of structure, right at these support levels. Okay, and let's see if we get a 127 extension or a 618 extension lining up over to those levels of structure. And you would see right here we have a 1618 extension lining over to these levels of structure. And then again, on our lower time frame, as price came to these levels of structure, we saw an exhaustion on our RSI, indicating an oversold state over to those levels of structure. So I would have an entry level over at 56.49 levels right there. In terms of my targets, I'll be looking to get a brief move from the market. So if price does come to our entry level, I'll be looking for a brief move for a retest over to those levels of structure at 57.11s. So as you see on our RSI, we have a bullish divergence again forming up over right here. Okay, so if price does retest over to these levels and we still have a valid bullish divergence, I'll be looking to set myself up for a position that's like this. Okay, I'll be shooting for 60 pips of worth of reward on this one and a potential 27 pip worth of risk on this one. If I put my stops below 10 pips below these lows right here, so my stops would have to go to 20. So my stops would be a 30 pip stop and a 60 pip worth of reward on this one. And you see we have a 1:2 risk to reward lining up at our support levels right at these levels of structure. Okay, so we have a ABCD pattern at these levels of structure, our 1618 extension coming at these support levels. We have our minor structure right there and our major structure from our higher time frames, all lining up at one level of structure. Okay, so I'll be potentially setting myself up for a buying opportunity in anticipation of a retest over to these levels of structure. So if the market does something like this before it opens, it hits our levels of targets, our potential target levels before hitting our entry, I'll be a little bit more conservative on my entry as soon as price comes over to these levels of structure. What I mean by that is that if price does come to these levels of structure, I'll be looking for a more confirmation, extra confirmation in order for me to engage myself in this buying opportunity. So in this case, if price does hit my target levels before hitting my entry, I'll be looking for something like this. If price makes another double bottom over to these levels of structure, and then I'll look for either a high close or a hold, a sign that the market's still holding to these levels of structure. Okay, so I hope you liked this video, and if you did, press that like button below and share with your friends. Subscribe to our channel so you can get more of this content lining up on a consistent basis. So for me, Mandla, I'll see you on the next trade. Happy Sunday.